Mitch Hikers. It was a piece of theater that went on to define a generation. Please join me in welcoming the creative genius behind this groundbreaking sketch, writer and performer, Chris Gillespie.
Hey.
Thank you for joining me, Chris.
Oh, thanks for having me, Dr. Branch. I'm a huge fan of the show. Huge fan.
Oh my goodness. Can you believe that Mitch Hikers is already 20 years old?
No, I feel like it was just a couple minutes ago.
Yes, now prior to its release, everyone said Mitch Hikers was doomed to fail. No one would say a 30-second play, they said. No one would come out, they said. Oh, but they did come out. They came out in droves.
Yeah, well, you know, it was really exciting. I'm really proud of it.
Now, let's start from the beginning. Where did you find inspiration for such a pivotal and, dare I say, provocative piece of theater?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, provocative is a good word for it. I had been meaning to write an ode to the jazz age for quite some time. And I woke up in the middle of the night one night and it was just kind of there.
Yes, now you've gone on record saying that Mitch Hikers was originally 3 hours long.
Yeah, that's correct.
Can you elaborate?
Yeah, sure. I'm not sure how much the audience knows about this already. But yeah, so in its original form, Mitch Hikers was a 3-hour-long quasi-epic about a young man named Mitch Bernstein who travels across Eastern Europe following the death of his father and his brother. In Europe, he meets an older woman named Veronica, and together the two, over the next 30 years, I have to say, they explore the themes of love, sex, faith, finance, cannibalism, and geography.
Surely an ambitious project.
Yeah, it's funny actually because we had done a read-through of the original draft at the Jonesington Theater Co-op, and we had the late great star Ned Talloway. Yeah, give it up for Ned. Yeah.
What an extraordinary talent.
Yeah, oof, man.
Such crisp talent. Gone too soon, sure.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a shame.
Yes, now would you say that the instant fame of Mitch Hikers and the inability to ever top another performance fueled Ned's fatal addiction?
Yeah, well, I think addiction is kind of a tricky word to talk about, especially these days. I'm really close with the Talloway family, so I don't want to talk too much about it. But I will say, in Ned's defense, who isn't addicted to Oreos?
Of course. Oreo man.
Yeah, but anyway, so we had done the original read-through, but then Ned was also attached to star in the film adaptation of Kenneth Blackworth's Lost at Home. Which
Such a crisp film.
obviously became quite a well-known film. But he was supposed to be in Vancouver to start filming that. His schedule was really crazy, really hectic. So he kind of came up to me and he was like, Chris, I really want to do this play. How can we make this happen? And I was like, well, how much time do you have? And he said 30 seconds, so there you go.
Now, what was like?
Oh, I don't remember. I was high on opium.
Now, what would you say were your major influences, Mitch Hikers?
Yeah, it's a good question. I think that all of my work is really influenced by the blues. I was listening to a lot of like old blues guys kind of when I was putting the script together, like Howlin' Wolf, Muddy Waters, that kind of stuff. If you actually, it's funny, if you listen to the exchange that happens between Shandy and Owen, it's quite bluesy. It really mimics that 12-bar blues structure.
Yes, he's in Shady and Owen, who played none other than my avant-garde performers, Cadence Hyatt and Boris the Blind Man Eggers.
Yeah, give it up.
So talented. Such great talent.
They really sold it.
The talent. It's just so crisp.
Really fortunate to have them along
The
with us.
crispness of the talent. I just can't deal with the crispness of the crisp Gillespie talent. The talent that goes through my veins. I just want the crispness in my mouth like Christmas Eve. We're brought to the end of our interview! And so I like to end things with a series of rapid-fire questions. Now, Chris, don't think too long about these. Just say what first thing comes to mind.
Oh boy.
Now, what are we talking about when we're talking about Mitch Hikers?
Sex. I think we're always talking about sex.
Anyone, who would it be?
John Stamos.
Favorite Muppet?
Kermit the Frog.
Thing you're afraid of the most?
Kermit the Frog. 7109.
Favorite color?
Magenta.
The author of your favorite book?
John Steinbeck.
The author you most admire?
Herman Melville.
The author of the sketch in right now?
David Kane.
Oh, that's crispy. Join us again next week. We'll be joined by Yusuf Barbarazza, the Albanian playwright of the sketch you're about to see next.